Hi guys, Marco Hare here for We Are Betting. Time to talk Football League now this weekend. There might be international football, which has wiped out the Championship calendar and a select few games from Leagues 1 and 2, but I've still got three bets from Leagues 1 and 2 to talk over this week. Just the one win from three last weekend, not good, I apologise for that, but 6 wins from 9 if we look over the last 3 weeks, which is obviously something I'm going to be trumping rather than last week's performance. So let's get into this weekend. Starting in League 1, Bristol City take on Scunthorpe. City unbeaten in 5 to start the season in League 1 now. To come from behind, but won at Notts County last Sunday with that last-minute winner from the penalty spot from J. Emmanuel Thomas. And they're 3-4 to win this fixture. Something at a price which is, it's takeable. But I'm going to back them to score over 1.5 goals at 5-6 of Boyle Sports. I fully expect them to win, and I think they'll probably not necessarily need, but I think they're more than capable of scoring at least 2 goals against Scunthorpe this weekend. They did so in 7 of their 11 games at home to finish last season at Ashton Gate, and it's something that they've done in 3 of their 5 League 1 games this season too. Steve Cottrell's got so much firepower at his disposal. Yes, Sam Baldock has moved on to Brighton, but you look at that forward line, they've still got Emmanuel Thomas. Aaron Wilbraham's dropped out of the Premier League for Crystal Palace and scoring goals for Bristol City. Kieran Agar's just joined in the last fortnight as well to add further firepower. They've also got Luke Freeman and Wade Elliott, plenty of silky skills and craft from midfield there. They only failed to score in 3 of 23 home games last season in the league, and I think they're more than capable of scoring twice this weekend. Scunthorpe, their opponents, kept 6 clean sheets in their final 10 games in League 2. A decent record, a decent defensive record too in League 2. But it's interesting to note they did actually concede at least 2 goals in 8 of their away games, despite finishing runners-up in the league last season. They've already conceded 11 goals this season. Swindon put 3 past them on the opening day. Preston put 4 past them. Fleetwood, who of course are going very well, but not necessarily filling their boots in the goals column. They scored twice themselves. I'd definitely stick Bristol City at least alongside Fleetwood and Swindon, if not up with Preston as one of the best units in the division this season. Scunthorpe held Yeovil away in their last away fixture and then beat Walsall last weekend too. They did beat Chesterfield as well 2-0 in JPT midweek. They are improving, but it's got to mention that was their 8th game in August now for Scunthorpe, and Russ Wilcox is already sort of not complaining but already looking towards fixture congestion as perhaps an excuse for when the legs seem to go. Chesterfield did field 4 senior debuts in midweek in the JPT too, so can't read too much into that, but certainly the fixture congestion which Wilcox has alluded to has to be a concern. So Bristol City to score over 1.5 goals at 5-6 of the first. Dropping down into League 2 now, Dagenham and Redbridge take on Northampton. And I've said for quite a long time now that if you ever find both teams to score around even money in the Football League, it's worth looking into, and I think it's obviously worth a play. League 2 was quite an under 2.5 goal league last season, but I'm happy to back both teams to score even money here at Dagenham. They host Northampton on Saturday, and yes, the Cobblers, they've only scored 4 and only conceded 4 in their opening 5 games. Only 2 of their 5 games have seen both teams to score, and if you look at the end of last season too, only 6 of their 14 games to end the season saw both teams to score. And none of their 5 games this season have seen the over 2.5 goal barrier banked. They've also only just signed Aaron Cresswell from Fleetwood, an excellent defender, on a 3-year deal, which just signals the intent from Chris Wilder and that Northampton team to really push on this season. So there are negatives, but I'd have to have the Cobblers down to score a goal against Dagenham as they go away this weekend. They've scored in 4 of their 5 games so far this season. They only failed to score in 3 away games against bottom half teams last season, and although Dagenham finished 9th in League 2 last season, I definitely have to mark them down as a lower or bottom half side in League 2 either this season or even last season. It was so tight last year. On to Dagenham then, their last fixture, of course they drew 3-3 against Oxford, a game Michael Appleton described as a basketball game. Dagenham excellent for just going forward and looking to score goals, but also leaving themselves completely open at the back as well. They've scored in 4 of their 5 league games too, just like Northampton. Let's not forget that crazy 6-6 draw as well in the Cup against Brentford. Reece Murphy is still out, but Jamie Curitin's back playing football again at the ripe old age of 36, 37 now, scoring goals as well. Ashley Hemmings too is looking quite lively in attack. and I'd fully fancy them to score at home this weekend. I'd be surprised if they didn't. So there aren't a huge amount of trends in our favour in this price, or in this bet. But I think the nature of Wayne Bennett's Dagenham far overrules the nature of Chris Wilder and Northampton to try and keep things tight. And I think both teams to score at even money is a decent price. And moving on to the final game, I was looking at Southend to beat Oxford. They were a touch under evens at 19 to 20, but that price has since gone. Been a bit of a move for Southend. Oxford lost again in the JPT this week, but I do think there's some signs of life in that Oxford side, and I think they will come back into the fore recently. So I've looked at the live game on Sky on Saturday afternoon, 12:15 kickoff, Luton against Plymouth Argyle. Said in our anti-post previews that I thought Luton were overrated. I thought Plymouth were underrated. So when the two teams go together, I still think that's the case when you look at the prices, and I think there's value to be had if you oppose Luton or get with Argyle. And that's what I've done. I've toyed with taking the 11 to 8 on Argyle in the draw no bet market, but instead I'm having a dabble on Plymouth in a double chance at 8 to 11. I make Argyle closer to 2 to 1 than 12 to 5 to win the game. So there's definite value to be had here if you do like Plymouth and want to oppose Luton. I think we're all in the business, or at least with We Love Betting, to try and back winners rather than a brave, bigger price bets, which probably end up as losers. So I'll take the shorter price to 8 to 11 with Plymouth to avoid defeat in the double chance market. Luton haven't won on the league since the opening day. A 1-0 win at Carlisle, who have since had to sack Graham Kavanagh after a dreadful start. They blew a 2-goal lead at lowly Accrington as well. They were well beaten 2-0 at Shrewsbury last weekend. Okay, you can put that down as Shrewsbury, one of the strongest teams in the league. But you look at the home record, they were beaten 1-0 at home to AFC Wimbledon, and they needed a real late equaliser against Bury in their midweek home fixture as well. Okay, Bury should be strong, but they pretty much dominated that game and probably deserve a lot more out of it, or deserved the 3 points rather than the late equaliser. As for Plymouth, interesting to note, 5 of their 10 away defeats last season came before November. They were slow out of the blocks last season, started this season reasonably well. A slow start did cost them in their away game at Bury, went 2-0 down, but fought back to 2-1 and played very well after they got that equaliser. And as you'd expect from a John Sheridan team, they'll be well drilled, defensive, resolute, determined, wholehearted approach. You know what you're going to get from Plymouth. They don't often let you down. And they've also got one of the league's the hottest property in attack in Ruben Reid, more than capable of scoring goals. Marvin Morgan also looked lively last weekend too. I've got them down for a top 7 finish this weekend. I haven't got Luton down as potentially bottom half team, and the start of the season shows that they've got plenty of work to do under John Still. So I'll oppose Luton and take Plymouth in a double chance market at 8 to 11. So in reverse order, Plymouth double chance 8 to 11 at Luton, Dagenham, Northampton both teams to score, and Bristol City to score over 1.5 goals against Scunthorpe in League One. Best of luck, and I'll catch you all next week.